You are now tuned in to your number one radio station.
Yo, everybody out there, what's going on, man? This is T. Michaels. Some of you know me as a songwriter from back in the day, some of you don't. But just to give you a little bit of background about me, I hail from Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up in the music scene a little bit. That's where I actually started doing music, writing songs for different artists. I've been around a lot of musicians in my life, especially being here in Atlanta, which has turned into like a small town Hollywood. But I've gotten the opportunity to meet a lot of producers and a lot of artists that a lot of people never really had the chance to meet. I don't want to get into a lot of the names, but I can just say that I was blessed early on to be able to see the music scene here in Atlanta and see what type of talent came through here, and actually is still here to this day. But a little bit about me. So I started off writing music back in, I guess you could say, the late 90s, early 2000s. And I wrote songs for a couple of artists now that I actually major. And then by 2002, I want to say probably 2003, I was lucky enough to write a song on Selena Gomez's soundtrack, Another Cinderella Story, which actually came out under Warner Brothers, and it eventually went on to being on television. Actually, you might see the movie being played every once in a while. It was the actual second sequel to a Cinderella Story, I think, that starred Hilary Duff, I believe it was. So I actually was on the second movie, second soundtrack, and the soundtrack did really well. We were number 8. Soundtrack went number 8 on the Billboard charts for soundtracks. And so that happened. I believe that was 2000. I want to say that was actually 2008, 2009 when that actually happened. But I had been here in Atlanta. I've been on a couple of radio stations here for unsigned artists. Also for did a couple of morning show song cuts for like a pop station here. So I did a lot of, I dabbled in a lot of the music industry here in Atlanta. And I think after 2009, 2010, so we fast forward to 2015, I actually decided to kind of take a break from what was going on in the industry, because it actually, after a while, it kind of gets, you kind of struggle. You kind of go through your thing of what do I do next? How do I elevate myself and my career? What changes am I going to do to improve, and actually to take myself up a level further than what I've already done. So I guess for me, I started going through these changes and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because at the time I was actually involved in having put together or have tried to put together a production team of a couple of writers, a couple of producers. And so my focus was, with that production team, my focus was trying to do stuff in-house and trying to get more recognition of songs placed, more songs written, things of that nature. But you soon come to find out that a team, you're only as strong as your weakest link, or whatever the saying goes. But if everybody's not on the same page, it's just not going to work. And after having tried to put a team together numerous times, I finally decided to take a break just from that music situation, and I had to take a step back, and I had to regroup myself, and I had to evolve. I had to evolve and figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So with that being said, I decided to pick up the pieces. After a while, I took a break. I think I put down my pen and paper and keyboard and all that stuff for about a good year, just to really figure out my life at the time. I was going through all that. I was having a child, my first child, and so it was a lot of things that, like kind of, boggled me down, and I was just going through that stage of just having to man up and figure things out. So after a year, I started really getting back to myself, started back working out, trying to eat right. And I've always loved to write. That's just been my thing. Like even when I was in high school, I just, catered to really like being a creative writer. And so after all that, needless to say, I ended up coming up with this idea of trying to get back to more creative writing. And so I started getting back to the music. This is how the whole thing started. I started getting back to the music. I started to not do any pop music, not really do any R&B, but I started getting into like Hans Zimmer, John Williams, these guys who did the soundtracks for Superman and Man of Steel and Star Wars, and I started really listening to all that stuff. I really started getting into that. Mind you, when I was younger, I played in an orchestra, I played in a band, I played the trumpet, played a little bit of piano, played a little bit of drums. But I got back into this music again, because like this is when all the major now DC and Marvel was coming out with these movies and television shows, and I'm like, wow, this is huge. This is becoming big, and this is like even before Marvel and DC started doing. Of course, you got The Walking Dead, on AMC, and you got Image Comics, Rob Liefeld doing this thing. So, but I started getting into this, into making soundtrack music, and as I'm making this music, I'm starting to hear a story. So what I did was I did a couple of songs, man. I'm just playing around, just putting some music together, not really serious about it just yet, but it was just the foundation. It was more like the vertebrae or the exoskeleton, if you will, to everything that was getting ready to come together and create a body of work. So I created this soundtrack, and I started visualizing this story about a superhero, a young guy. So after I made the soundtrack, I put it out on CD Baby, iTunes, YouTube, and all that. And as a composer, I go by TMH is what I go by, and as a songwriter who's written songs for people, you might see T. Michaels, or people know me as that. But under my name TMH, I come up with this story, and the story becomes what is now the first issue of a book series called True Man of Honor. So you can find this story, True Man of Honor. You can find it on www.tmhcomics.com. You can also find it on Comixology. You can also find True Man of Honor on indieplanet.com. And you can actually order a physical copy on the TMHcomics.com website, or you can order a physical copy on Indie Planet, or you can just download the PDFs, whichever one you want. I'm getting ready to gear up, hopefully, for issue 2, and hopefully we'll be done. Hopefully issue 2 will be done by, I'm thinking no later than October. I really was trying to get it out this summer. Really was pushing for it, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I'm really thinking the latest, it'll probably be October, when everything will be done and geared up and ready to go once again for Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. So issue 2 is, we're halfway through it. We're almost done. Also, too, there's some things that are coming up based off of this book series that I'm also working on. I'm also working on trying to get, something special, for you viewers out there. So I don't think I really want to spill the beans just yet. We're really in the process. It's early right now, and we're in the process of trying to, put step by step together. So hopefully once we get all that done, man, hopefully you guys will be able to see something very special, hopefully soon. So, I'm definitely doing everything I can to make that happen. But I've always been, I've always been in love with comics since I was a little kid. I remember, my dad taking me to the comic book store, my mom taking me to the comic book stores, and, me picking up, Justice League Origins. And, I've got a lot of stuff, man. I got a lot of books that I've actually, over the past 3, 4, 5 years, actually started back picking up and actually started back reading. So, and now, nowadays I just walk into a comic book store and I browse around and I go pick up something, to read for later on. And, it really takes me back to being, when I was a kid, being free and being, just having that sense of, that stress reliever, able to just jump into another world and, be who you are and read and become somebody else. And, so now I've developed this love of creating my own books, and I hope that you guys, get a chance to read them. And I hope that when you do read them, I hope that you guys will fall in love with them the way I have, man. This story, I'm telling you, this story that I have developed and is still in development, and is incredible. It's incredible. And excuse me, and I would really love one of these days, I really hope that, this happens. I would really love to see it, develop into something bigger than what it is. And maybe you can hit the big screen and, maybe the whole world can see it. But for now, we're taking it one day at a time, and we're trying to get every reader and everybody involved with one book at a time. So definitely, man, go check out the website. Go check the website out and take a look at everything that's going on, everything I have going on TMHcomics.com. And you can subscribe to the website. You can also send me a message. You can also follow on Twitter at TMHcomics1. Follow on Instagram at True Man of Honor. Follow on Facebook at TMH Comics as well. And, stay posted, stay with us and see how we develop and see how we grow more. And we'll definitely be sending you and giving you more stuff to take a look at. I've been real kind of low key about this second issue while it's being worked on, and I've just been hoping that people who have passed it online through Instagram and all that will go take a look at the first issue or download it or whatever you want to do, or actually purchase the full book on Indie Planet if you like to as well. And take a look at it, man. And like I said, man, we're gearing up. It's going to be so far it's going to be a 6-part series. It's actually 7 parts, but it's going to be a 6-part series. But anyway, I don't want to hold you, man. I've been just rambling on. But please check us out. It's www.tmhcomics.com, and the name of the book is True Man of Honor. And we'll talk to you soon, man. Check it out. Thanks. Peace. Yo, everybody out there, what's going on, man? This is T. Michaels. Some of you know me as a songwriter from back in the day.